retorts that are closed in. Wood chips and sawdust will act like one big mass, and the hot gases can't get in, they can't breathe.
It doesn't burn.
Yeah. So it's...
If you mix logs with chips, you can.
You can, yeah.
Because of the oxygen.
And the same with the logs, I recommend less than 200 diameter, 200 millimetre. I've done 250, 275, I've done some pretty big logs, but it takes so much time to penetrate in, it's not viable.
In big logs.
In big
logs.
Big logs.
It has to be smaller.
You want to split. You can do the big logs, but it's better.
But that is the same with the kiln. It is burning. But of course you don't have the gases, you have the oil, you have the vinegar, you lost all the carb, all the heat.
I've used them, and I like how simple they are and cheap. But I like, for me, when I just fell in love with biochar, my stipulation was it had to make the maximum yield of biochar. If what I want to do is save the planet, I want to draw down the most carbon I can, so I want the maximum, I don't want any ash. In my machine there's no ash. You see every vein in a leaf.
How is this place? I mean, are you putting water at some point? At some point?
No. I fire it up, it's sealed.
It stops without I mean, you open and remove it.
It stops by itself. So as it heats up, it's driving itself, producing its own heat. And then as it's exhausted all the oils and flammable material, and the flame goes down, 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 and I can watch it and I can see that the tap's wide open and it's going quiet.
Because of the gas of the oils in the wood.
And then
so the rest of the wood is not, I mean, if you don't go to open it and take the biochar out or whatever.
I leave it overnight myself in my small business. I leave it overnight, and then in the morning, for the most part, it's cool enough to open the door. It won't burst into flames. I rake it out into steel drums, with a shovel or a rake, and then put the lid on, just in case there's a hot ember in there.
Okay.
So, and then it's sealed up.
It never keeps burning because it doesn't have...
There's no oxygen to...
The oxygen or the oil or the gas or whatever.
The oil's all burned off. We've burned off all the flammable...
Yeah, it's like the chimney when you put the logs and they don't remain the day later they don't remain long without burning, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
So you'll be left with a little bit of char and a lot of ash in your fireplace, whereas this is all char, no ash.
Yeah, right. But because it okay, and it is like 5 hours.
Well, that depends on the biomass.
And the quantities.
Quantity, how full is it, and the calorific value of the material. Is it eucalypt, which has a lot of fuel, or is it grass, which will be less?
Right. And you use grass?
I've used palm fronds,
mixed palm fronds,
papery things. I don't use it a lot because it doesn't make a lot of char. I want a lot of char. So
no. For the sake of the soil, you need woody material.
Yeah, it's best. So each species will be different volatility, and that'll affect how hot it gets. I've done one just on bamboo, and I didn't flare. I didn't need to flare. I didn't have enough power. Didn't have enough energy to require me to flare. So and it was a 4-hour run. Made beautiful biochar. Bamboo was beautiful. Crush a lot of bamboo. Just and a little bit of wood vinegar, but this was dry. The wood vinegar is another one where, as a biochar maker, I look for dry wood. This is good, dry wood. It'll be a fast run if it's dry. If it's a fresh cut tree, it'll take a long time to push that water out. Yeah. But the other side of that is, if it's green, wet wood, it'll make a lot of wood vinegar. Because that's all moisture that gets collected. So now I've got a lot of wood vinegar. Even though the run took me twice as long because it's green, I've got 3 times as much wood vinegar. If I've used kiln dried wood, it'll be a fast run, make great biochar, but I'll get much less wood vinegar because there's not as much sap.
Vinegar markets are more
Small market.
It's complicated.
Yeah, it's tough. So that's why, for me, the wood vinegar was I wanted to collect it, but it wasn't something that I wanted to maximise. I could have spent more time making it more complex and capturing more wood vinegar, but I wanted it to be just simple on a small footprint, low cost, and I've done that. You'll get, I don't know, depending on what I put in, it might be 5 litres, it might be 10, 15 litres, maybe, from a small machine. Big machine might get 25 litres, 30 maybe, depending on the feedstock. But if you wanted to complicate it, you could probably get more, but then you'd need a bigger machine with more pipes and more problems. I'm a mechanic, I'm an engineer. Maintenance was an issue for me. I wanted it to, because I'd worked on the big, important, extremely big machines and saw other people with gasifiers, helped them, and the gasifiers clog up. The tar gets into the moving parts, lots of moving parts and gasification, belts and chains and anything that moves, fans. Everything gets gummed up and they have to stop and pull things apart and clean things up. I didn't want that. So mine, it's very simple, quick visual inspection. There's really only 2 places where it can build up problems. There's 2 horizontal pipes. Syngas out into the cyclone, syngas into the fire. So it's those 2 horizontal pipes. One's only short and one's longer than on the machine. But I've made it so that you can see through. There's where the vertical pipe joins to the horizontal pipe, there's a cross piece with bung, so you can unscrew the bung. Quick look, it's good. Start the run. If you take it off and the pipe is half full of gunk, clean it with a pole.
You're gonna clean it up.
Pipe. I use a shop vac, a little vacuum cleaner with a pipe, and it sucks the debris up. It's quite brittle, it's not a real problem.
No, but you need to do that every number of weeks. Or
it depends on the feedstock. How oily is your feedstock?
If it is very oily, it will happen more.
And you'll get to know what you're doing. If you're doing it every day, I knew that if I wanted a 6-hour run, I would fill it this full. If I wanted more char, I could fill it right to the top. But then it might be a 7-hour run. If I wanted a 5-hour run, so I could just put in as much as I wanted. Or
it's
I
need to
go early today, I'll just do halfway.
It's faster to feed,
and you can just throw it in. You don't need to stack it neatly because you want the air gaps. And so one person can load it in by hand 10, 15 minutes maybe. And it comes with, when people buy plans, it comes with a safe operating procedure, step by step, with photos, so they know when to do what to look for, what not to do, what they can do. And as I said, I leave mine shut overnight to cool. But this Indian person who wants to talk to me later, he wants to do 24/7 running, and you can do that. So when the flame goes out, you can open the door and you'll hear it come to life. You'll hear it and start to get hot. So you have to quench, close it down, spray water on it.
Outside?
In the kiln, you can open the
You
door
open and you put a water
and
inside?
just spray it in, yeah, and that's fine. And in some ways,
to finish it.
Well, just to make sure it doesn't burn again, just so it doesn't combust.
To know that
it's still hot. It's just gone out. It's radiating heat. You've opened the door. The oxygen comes in. It wants to burn. So you open the door, you hose it with a hose,
and you're sure it's off.
and that is a good thing in some ways because the steam can activate the carbon as well, the charcoal. Steam puts more holes into it. So when the water hits the charcoal, it becomes steam and blows little holes in some of the material. You get a higher surface area from the steam activation. We've been in the activated carbon range with some of our clients have gone to 800 degrees. I don't recommend it because it brings down the lifespan of the machine. I say 500 to 600 degrees is good for most applications. But yeah, you spray water on it, it'll probably be a higher surface area. The downside is it's heavier and it's harder to process. You grind wet char is very hard. Dry char, I use a small garden chipper. I can put a shovel in, it just grains of sand comes out, small particles. And I can do that for the whole one, just with a hammer mill, just smashing it. And that's easy. If it was wet, if I wet it down and do that, it'll go boom and clog up. It's like rice. Dry rice will flow through a pipe. Sticky rice will clog a straight pipe. It will stick to a vertical pipe.
Right.
It will clog up eventually, and it's a pain.
It depends on the filter.
No, just the moisture in the charcoal.
But the moisture of the charcoal depends on the filter. If it is wet or...
No, because when it's finished, it's all dry. When you open that door, it's all hot and dry.
This is something that you mean it happens because of the water you put at the end?
Yeah. When you've opened the door, all of it's charcoal.
Okay.
But if you wet that charcoal, it's going to be harder to process. Grind it down. Regardless of whether it's from grass or hardwood, it'll stick to the sides like glue and build up until nothing's going through that pipe, which I hate that. It's also heavier, bags heavier, transport's heavier, so there's a lot of the disadvantages.
That's why you don't quench.
Yeah, it makes dust if it's dry. If you quench it, there's no dust.
It might be too heavy or really bad. I see your point.
Yeah, time is money. Time cleaning out the stuck charcoal. When you pull things apart, free up.
But anyway, you don't need to quench with water because it gets spent.
You leave it overnight if you can. It depends on your business. But for me, I leave it overnight. I was in no hurry.
It doesn't come with too much ash or too much. It doesn't burn
If it's
too
done
much.
right, if you leave the door shut, there'll be no ash. People ask, what do you inoculate? How do you charge your charcoal? Wood vinegar. The wood vinegar is acidic. The biochar is alkaline. You only need a little bit of wood vinegar diluted
To reduce the pH and...
You put that on your charcoal, you've got a biostimulant in your charcoal now.
Yeah, well, that is very
It's
good
neutral.
thing. That is, for instance, very good for the cases in Europe, for instance, Spain.
Yeah.
You have soils here are pH 9, pH 8.
Yeah.
There are equipment 100k or 150 or 200. So those are industrial and a different workload. The model is good with your machine when in a farm or in a big eco-resort, eco-village project.
Yes, you can help your own farmer. And that's what you do first. The first biochar you make, you put on your farm.
Right.
Look after yourself. But then, it's already there. Yeah, you can top it up every season if you want, a little bit more. But you've got a product that you can sell at the farm gate. And the tourism, there's farm tourism. People come and stay on the farm, and see the fields, see the cows, and they can go home with a little bag of biochar for their home garden. So they can feel like they've got this little eco-friendly product they take home and have in their own garden at home. And so some are doing that as a little side income. Yeah, they're making money selling tomatoes, but they can also sell biochar or sell it to the neighbouring farm. here's some biochar for you, pay me a little bit. Everybody
Right.
sort of wins a little bit.
It has to be something like that, yeah.